Hey guys, Rory is here and welcome along to another video. You join me here in Quali for the penultimate race of the Manufacturers Series here at Kyoto Driving Park. The worst part of Kyoto Driving Park, the smallest part, therefore you can pretty much guarantee chaos is going to ensue. So in this one we've got 20 cars, we've got 30 laps, a pit stop for no reason, and tuning is on again, much to my dismay. And they say this is the penultimate round, but the final round, again, no reason why, no idea why, it's on Christmas Day. So for me, this is definitely going to be my final round. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, this wasn't even my first attempt. This was my first attempt. We qualified in 20th unfortunately, but we were ready to go. And then this happened. Very strange, the game just crashed. So me and Erin took the boys out for a walk and we're back here. We came back for, I don't think it was the slot after, it was the slot after that. So we waited a couple of rounds and here we are again, trying to put in another quali, hopefully better than the last quali session. And hopefully as well, we're actually going to get into the race. So you join us here in quali, as I say. We're getting quicker here. We put in a banker and then we're about to go quicker on this lap. We're still down the back end of the grid, which isn't great. And that's probably because we didn't spend enough time on setup. Now, I had a bit of a calculated decision with this. All I did was down to the gears, maxed out the downforce because I didn't want to eke out every thousandth of a second to have something like this happen. Someone get confused between qualifying and race, go for a gap like Ayrton Senna that wasn't there, and then essentially just muller us and take us off. And then apologies to the Frenchman as well. When I was trying to compose myself after the shock of being taken out there, I actually took him out. But we did speak afterwards and he was on his in lap, so no harm, no foul. But what we needed to do now is pull out some sort of lap because we're in 19th. This one obviously is not going to help us. We're 11.7 seconds off after those little shenanigans. But despite our best efforts, unfortunately, we couldn't improve. And for the second race, well, first race, it would have been the second race had we got into the first race, we actually ended up qualifying dead last. Hopefully though, we're going to make it into the race this time. Let's see how we get on. Thankfully, we made it in. We're here for the standing start for 30 laps, as I say, around Kyoto. Because of the standing start, we're going to have traction control on 1, and we should have a good launch off the line, as long as we keep our foot on the brake and we don't jump. So we're just going to wait for the lights to go out here. And after a longish wait, we're underway. As anticipated, we get a good start. We flick traction control off, we're going to go up the inside here and we're actually going to overtake 3 cars, as you can see on the radar, off the line. So we're going to be straight up to 17th place. And we're going to see here over the next few laps why I titled this video Gran Turismo Sport at its very worst, because I truly believe this is one of the worst combinations that we've had, especially in an FIA event. So just to recap, we've got 20 cars going around this tiny track here. They've asked us to spend time tuning, and look at what's going to happen here. Cars off all over the place, and that's just a little taster. Look at the chaos up in front. So many cars around such a tiny track. It was inevitable, to be quite honest. We've got someone chucking it up the inside there, this Frenchman, and just imagine while this is going on, if you put in the hours getting yourself the perfect setup just to have it ruined like it's going to have for these guys up here. So yellows are back out, cars everywhere. There's one there on the left hand side, but this is where the real fun begins. This nasty little kink here. Up ahead there's a car ghosted, and then I am actually going to turn round the Toyota up in front. And as we cross the line to start lap number 3, we're in 11th place. We get a bit of a bump from the Frenchman behind there. and this is where the lack of setup is really going to start hurting me. As I said, I just didn't want to spend lots of time doing it. Fair play to those who did, but I just thought the risk was just too much. And everybody behind me right now, I hope, didn't spend a long time on setups, because they have just wasted a lot of their time. Well, if this is their first attempt, of course, they can do many others. But if you did have one opportunity to do this, then it's a waste of time. Just like Mario Sonic found out there, everything can be undone in a simple, quick moment. Up ahead, there's a Ferrari chucking it up the inside of a fellow McLaren here, and we're going to keep our focus on this, because you guessed it, it's going to kick off again. So as we come through these S's here, I don't really need to say what's going to happen. They're going to be in the barrier, Dofra's going to quit, and at this point we're up to 8th place. Me and the Frenchman up in front, the same Frenchman that I actually took out in qualifying, are the massive beneficiaries of everything that's gone on. And it's finally going to calm down here as we start lap number 5. So we're going to cross the line here to start lap number 7. It was our quickest lap, but it still wasn't a particularly quick lap. And you're going to see the Frenchman ahead is running off into the distance. The Frenchman behind is right behind us. We're in a French sandwich, a baguette, if you like. And we're going to lose a place here to the Corvette. I'm going to get out the throttle here to make sure we give him space. Otherwise, we're just going to take him off into the grass, which would not be ideal. And then we're going to lose another place here, as we cannot turn in. The BMW is up the inside. But we're not going to lose just that place. We're going to lose a place to another Frenchman here in the Subaru, so we're down to 11th. And now Mario Sonic is going to want a piece of us as well. So by being considerate, we have lost 1, 2, 3, 4 places, and we're back down to 12th. To be honest, I was kind of expecting it. We did qualify in 20th, and as I say earlier, we were the beneficiaries of the chaos that was in front of us. So whilst it's a tough one to swallow, we need to expect it, but we're going to keep plugging away here and see what we can salvage from this race. We're going to rejoin the action here as we start lap number 12, and we're actually up into 11th place now. We've made up a place because the leaders have started to come in, and whilst we're talking about strategy, let's go into what we're going to be doing in this one. So the race stipulates that we've got to have a pit stop. You don't have to change tyres, so for some cars it's going to be pointless. For us, I think we could get away without changing the tyres. You can see there how much they're worn at this point. The lefts are struggling a little bit, but you know, we could survive. So we are actually going to change tyres. There's not really too much to lose at this point. We know we're going to go backwards, so we may as well be on the freshest rubber possible. And I've decided to pit exactly halfway on lap 15. So we've gone up here as well on lap number 13 up to 10th place as another car comes in. I'm conscious, of course, that drivers around me may be on different strategies. I suppose that's the only real positive of enforcing a pit stop. It creates way more strategies. And some people may come in earlier or later, so I'm not going to count my chickens here and keep my head down and push as hard as we can. This is going to be the start of our in-lap, and we're going to be up to 7th place at this point. And as we come to the end of this lap, lap number 15, we're going to come in alongside many others. So with some new boots freshly put on the car, we're away. We come out in 14th, but then we're going to lose, unfortunately, one more place to Mario Sonic, once again overtaking us, and we're down to 15th. Now, a couple of people have quit the race, so there's 18 cars left from the 20 that started, so the worst that can happen is us go down to 18th, which by definition is better than where we started. So that's a positive, I suppose, and we're going to try and keep our head down here and just try and recover, well, not recover, but try not to lose any more places, which we managed to do until lap 22, but we have to get out the throttle again to ensure that I don't bury the driver alongside, and we're down to 16th. And that was the way it was going to stay. I'm happy to say that this one is almost over now. I'm also happy to be doing a gameplay voiceover video for you guys again. Whilst I enjoy doing the VODs, it's much quicker. I just feel I can't really tell a story. and I can't really share a story. Unfortunately, the one that I returned back on wasn't the greatest of stories, but as always, I show you warts and all. I think it's more realistic because we can't win every single week. Now, I'm really glad that these tuning races appear to be over after we had 2 in a row. I really hope that's not something they want to be doing for Gran Turismo 7, as to be quite honest, if I want to be doing setups and all that sort of stuff, I'll go to iRacing or ACC. They do it much better. For me, Gran Turismo is a good looking, plug and play, fun, well, mostly fun unless you're at Kyoto Driving Park, simulator. And I use simulator in probably the lightest terms. But again, not everybody wants that. People want to come home, plug and play. So that is what I think Gran Turismo is best at, and I think is what it should stick at. And whilst talking about all of that, the race is going to come to an end and we're going to come across the line in 16th place. Regardless of the result though guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.